All right, all right. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Friday night. It's 9 o'clock Texas time. You know what that means? We made it. Congratulations. Whew, let me tell you. And this is no small feat this week. Welcome to the late shift, everybody. My name is Robert, W5ITR, and I'll be your host for the next who knows how long. We'll see what everyone's up to. See what everyone is up for tonight. Hey, it's good to see we're getting some folks out there already. Some early birds. I saw Tim was out there. He claimed first, second, and third spot before anybody else got here. And then I don't know. Is he still out here, or did he just claim his spot and leave? You guys, I think some of you guys know that I spend some time in Buffalo, New York, and whenever it gets ready to snow out there, people take folding chairs out on the street. So this is down in the city. They take folding chairs out into the street, and they put their folding chair in their parking spot to save their space. That's kind of what Tim did. There he is. Good to have you here, Tim. Folding chairs and all. All right. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing they do out there. You do what you got to do to survive in the snow, I guess. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, a little greedy for all three spots. But hey, when you're here early and there's nobody else around, you can get away with it, I guess. All right, let's see. It's good to see everyone out there. I want to say a special hello to everyone in the green text channel members. Thanks for being out there. Thanks for the support of the channel. Cooley, EOD, I see you guys out there. Appreciate that. Great having you guys in the chat. It's great to have everybody out there in the chat, of course. Mike from New Hampshire, welcome. Arnie, good to see you out there as well. Is anything interesting coming up? I'm not sure if that's just a general question or if you're trying to decide if you want to spend some time with us or if you've got some other options. Well, I think we've got some interesting things coming up. We don't want to give away the whole show in the first 5 minutes, but yeah, I think we've got some fun coming up. It's good to have you here, Arnie. Ham Radio Crusader. All right. Getting sleepy. Well, hang in there just as long as you can. I know this late night stream's not for everybody. Hey, look, I need a little helper, right? I get a little energy helper here myself. So I get it. Freddie, I get it. Wayne, nice to see you. Good to have you out there. Nice to see you in green. Thanks for being a channel supporter. 45, good to see you out there as well. Hey, Gray Man. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining the channel membership ranks. Sprite Blitters. Does anybody know what a Sprite Blitter is? I can give you guys a little homework. It's really two concepts brought into one. There's multiple definitions or multiple things that are sprites. Some of those have to do with satellites. Some of that has to do with any of you guys that ever did any video game programming or anything like that, you likely know what sprites are. But that'll be something fun for you guys to dig into a little bit if you're not familiar with sprites and you're not familiar with blitters. But Gray Man, it's great to have you in the ranks. Appreciate it very much. All right, let's see. A couple housekeeping things while folks are rolling in here. So this is the usual stuff. If you guys are not already on the Digital Rancher community list, come on now. Get with it. Get over to bit.ly/CL. That's bit.tz/CL for community list. And that will allow you to sign up. And when you sign up, you'll get put on a newsletter list. I also send out stream reminders. So those of you who are on the community list, you'll be getting stream reminders. I've been sending those out since the first stream. And oh yeah, if you want to win any of the prizes here on the channel, you got to be on the community list. So all of the winners will be drawn from the community list. So I've got a 5K drawing that'll be coming up where I'll be giving away an ICOM IC2730B. I'll be giving away some elk antennas, some Mesh-tastic stuff, a bunch of the gear you guys see me use all the time on the channel. Those will be the types of things that I'll be giving away whenever I hit 5K. And like I said, you've got to be part of the community list to have a shot to win. Got to be in it to win it. All right. And then one other link just to remind everyone of, that's bitsy/dr, bit.tz/dr. And that gets you links to all my merch, discount codes, affiliate links, Amazon store, all that kind of stuff. All the stuff that helps support the channel. There's a number of things out there that give you guys a few bucks off of, you know, some of the things that that I think are worthwhile pieces of kit and gear that I use. So it's great to be able to give you guys a little something back on some of those things. All right, 45 got his email today. That's good. Let's see. I needed a late shift last night. Didn't get to sleep. Oof. Well, hopefully you recharged, 45. Hopefully you're able to go for the long haul tonight. Let's see. John, welcome. Nice to have you out in the chat. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Gray Man, I YouTube like a pirate. You know, I gotta really get better at this. I gotta get my, I gotta get my stream thing cooking here. I gotta be able to highlight those great comments you guys are making. All right, let's see. This should get her done. And let's see if I get some comments flowing out here. I tell you, it's a little bit to get all this stuff set up for a live stream. If you're going to try to do all these different things, that is. Ah, yeah, there we go. Looks like it's working there. Let's make sure it's working as it should. There it is. I YouTube like a pirate. All right. Hey, I've been working on the stream here a little bit as I can throughout the week. So you guys will have some new things that you'll be able to see and pick up. You guys may have noticed I had a really crappy rendition of the chat up on the intro page. That John just bought a 2730B. It'd be hilarious to win another. Hey, you can have one for satellites and put one in your vehicle. So they're great radios, no matter where you want to use them. But I threw together a chat on the intro page where I was sharing some of those pictures and giving everybody a chance to show up before the stream. You guys may have noticed it. Now, Cooley, you may have noticed too that your green color didn't show up real great in that display. The way I'm doing that, I'm just kind of goofing around with the YouTube pop out, which isn't a fantastic solution. Actually, I've been having a hard time finding a really good solution for that. Well, one that I don't have to open the checkbook for, right? There's lots of options if you want to pay for those types of things. But I'm a typical ham. There's things I will not even blink an eye at, right? Like buying a new radio. But other things, my goodness, it's like pulling teeth to get me to pay for some of those things. Tilo's out there in the chat. She can back me up on that. Ham Radio Crusader, how can I be a Sprite Blitter? You just join the channel, right? You can, Sprite Blitter is just a regular old YouTube channel membership. You should be able to, well, let's see, I think you can just go out there, hit that little plus, and it'll give you options to join the channel. One thing I should mention, thanks for that little nudge, Freddie. One thing I should mention is if you become a member of the YouTube channel, I automatically make you a member of my Buy Me a Coffee as well. Let's see. You're not seeing the little dollar sign down there, Freddie? That should be the ticket where you do super chats and all that other jazz. I think that's where you do it. But anyhow, for those that join, you will also become a member of the Buy Me a Coffee crew. So there's an extra little added benefit there. All right. But, as I was saying, I started looking for solutions to get the chat in the stream. And, you guys have all seen everybody's different tool bags, right? They use Streamlabs, they use Restream. There's all these, different types of solutions to do that. But like I said, like a typical ham, there's just some things I have a hard time. Oh, there you go. There you go, Jeff. Thanks. There's certain things I just have a hard time spending money on. Arnie, I'm not talking about a lack of money. I'm talking about not wanting to spend the money. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Kelly, thanks for joining the stream, or thanks for joining the membership ranks there. I appreciate that. So to get to the point here, so Arnie doesn't blow a gasket on me there. To get to the point, I started to write my own YouTube chat tool. And so using a little help from, our friendly AIs out there, I started to put together a solution to do this by myself. Hey, Bradley, good to have you out there in the chat. And it looks like it's going to work real good. The problem is I was polling the API far too quickly. And like in about 20 minutes, I hit my daily quota, 10,000 hits of the API, and they shut you off. Hey, Freddie, there you go. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Kelly and Freddie, the newest members here. Really appreciate that, guys. So that's something to look forward to. And it's kind of a fun exercise, right? To write a little tool that will do that type of thing. Google has all kinds of APIs out there for those that are interested, that want to tinker around a little bit. You can get out there and you can, write some of those tools for yourself, for your own purposes. So it's given me some ideas for some other things I might want to do related to streaming as well. So we'll see where that goes. All right. But anyhow, let's see here. Brant, thanks for joining the stream. It's good to see another green Sprite Blitters member out there. Appreciate you joining. Am I going to continue the rotator? No, I'm not going to be talking about the rotator tonight, but, it's probably a good time to go ahead and get into the this and that. Let's get into this and that. And we can talk about all the cool things that I found this week. All right. First thing I want to call out here, and for those of you who may be new to the stream, this is just a little segment where I like to share with you guys different things that I've found throughout the week that I thought are really cool for whatever reason. This one here in particular is the latest, the newest Gridmaster. So Bruce Patton VE7PTN is number 74. So you guys may remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about Grace becoming number 73. We already have number 74. So congratulations, Bruce. That's very cool stuff. It's always, to me, that's one of the difficult, one of those difficult awards to get out there. And of course, right, being a satellite guy, that one holds a special place here in my eyes. Certainly, I'm always looking for those. All right, let's see what else I've got here for you guys. Where is my list? Things are... All right, let's see here. I'm trying to get my next one out. Hate when I can't find something. Where did it go? There it is. All right, next up, MeshCon. I don't know if you guys are on the Spec 5 list. College radio station vibe. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. But Spec 5 has started sending out some emails about their new or their latest Mesh conference. And I thought we might want to just take a look here and see what that's all about. See if we can find anything out here. Find out what the details are. I'm curious. I went to this last year. I had a good time. Let's see. We have a register now button. We'll see if they have any details. Okay, October. So 20 days away. October 3rd in Austin. Now, I wonder if this is going to be at their headquarters, which is just outside of Austin, actually, or I wonder if they're going to be moving that to a different location, maybe to accommodate some more folks. Let's see here. Let's see if they have any detail, what to expect. Let's see. Need to move some stuff around here. Okay, let's see. Hands-on with real gear, chat with fellow builders and explorers. Okay. So it looks like it's a little light on the details right now, but this is something we'll have to keep an eye on. It was a good time last year. They did a balloon launch, which was cool. They did a couple presentations. They had a lot of their gear out, obviously, so you could handle it, touch it, see what it looks like, see how it works. They also had some of their 3D printers out, and they were showing, how they print their cases. So that was all pretty good to see. I'll be really curious to see what they do this year. What the cool and new things are that they're doing this year. All right. This, I don't know if you guys saw this. This was an X post. And this is a guy named Alan Weiner from WBCQ. Now, WBCQ is a shortwave radio station. I think it's, let's see, where is it? I don't have to think. I think it's up in Massachusetts, maybe. No, it's in Maine. And he had a little blurb out here basically saying, hey, we've got some programming availability. We've got some airtime, right? We've got time for you guys to book if you are looking to get on a shortwave radio station. I thought, you know what? That's a pretty interesting idea. I don't know if you guys have ever looked into something like this. So I went out to their website and I wanted to see what this is all about. I enjoy shortwave. I'm not like a shortwave aficionado by any stretch. I think it's really cool. It's something that my granddad used to always do. He was a big shortwave listener, and I had a couple of stations back in the day that I would listen to with my granddad, and then when my granddad passed, I was his shortwave radio came to me. That was kind of my intro to radio, and it's I always had a few British channels that I would listen to, some things coming out of the UK that were a lot of fun. But I would kind of float in and out of listening to shortwave here and there. But this just caught my attention. I thought, this could be pretty cool. And, really, they do all the work here by the sounds of things, right? I'm sure they have different ways they can do things. Here they've got several stations that that they operate. And it was kind of interesting. Alan shot that little video. I think he was in the garage of his house. There was a car in that. There's a car in this little video. You can't see it. It's out of frame, but he's got all kinds of stuff in here. But I believe he's the guy that maintains all the transmission equipment and everything as well. But they have a number of different stations and opportunities here. And I thought I saw on here some pricing. They talk about some of their technology here, which is pretty cool. Let's see. Looking for some help. I mean, a big part of his pitch is, hey, we're free speech airwaves here, right? That's shortwave radio for you. You'll hear anything and everything on shortwave radio. I thought I saw some price. Oh, here we go. So on 5130 on 130 megahertz, $30 an hour is what they charge. So $30 an hour with discounts for, looks like if you're buying a book of hours. But, that's a pretty cool idea, right? Where you can just get yourself on the radio for $30 an hour, right? You could do a weekly show for $30 an hour. I thought that was pretty cool. And it got me wondering, right? How many stations do we have out there that are doing this kind of thing? Well, first of all, let's look at their program guide just a little bit here. Let me see where you guys are in the chat. See what you guys think about this here. Cooley, you said MeshCon's on your birthday, huh? We'll have to That's a heck of a trip for you to get down there. Same weekend as Belton Ham Fest. Yeah, that's what they did last year. 45. They did it on the same weekend, so folks could leave the Ham Fest and then they could just shoot over to MeshCon. Hey Don, nice to see you out there in the chat. Thanks for joining. Let's see here. Yep. So here's what their programming currently looks like. I thought I saw one ham radio related. Was it out here? I thought I saw something out here for ham radio. Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. Amateur Radio Roundtable. Doesn't really tell us too much other than it's on Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. So somebody's putting some ham radio stuff out there on shortwave. I'm going to have to try to catch that. But I just thought that was pretty doggone cool that you could, for $30 an hour, you could broadcast whatever you wanted to the world. Right? Now, of course, we all have ham radios, so we can broadcast. Well, you don't want to use the word broadcast. People get touchy about some of that stuff. But we have transmitters, we have transceivers, we can transmit within certain power limitations, of course. But that's a good question. What kind of power are these guys pushing? Let's see. I don't know. Do we have anybody out there that listens to any of these shows? I did shoot an email out to them just to get a little bit more information. I'm curious, if nothing else. I'm curious how much power they're pushing for sure. Well, Gray Man, that's what I was thinking, right? Wouldn't it be fun to take a podcast, take a live stream that a lot of folks turn into a podcast, turn that into a radio program, right? It's no real difference than a podcast, and push that out over shortwave, right? Expand your audience. Let's see here. Let's look at that program guide. Let's see. You're saying Wednesday. And let's see. You're going 8 Eastern. Looks like he's got somebody in there. Something just right. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Cruising the Decades. Cruising the Decades. So, but Gray Man, there's nothing to say you can't just have that broadcast at a different time. Doesn't have to be at the same time as the show. Yeah, you can sell ads. That's right. Well, and you're paying for the radio time, so there's nothing wrong with trying to get some support for your show through advertising, right? That's the sorry, Rush. That's the real spirit of radio, as it would seem. Let's see. So I was wondering who else out there does this, and this is another station, and I've come across some of these WRMI stations before. Let's see. These guys are out of Florida, and they sell some, they have their own programming, and I saw something here too. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're a little bit more than the folks in Maine. But, here's another option. These guys at least have a little bit more going on their web page. I don't know how old some of this stuff is. It might be really old. It's hard to tell without taking a little extra time here. But again, I just think that's pretty awesome. Let's see here. Broadcast with us. There we go. Let's see what these guys have to say. Get your message out to the world. Let's see. I thought I saw some pricing out here as well, but I thought these guys were a little bit more expensive. Who knows? Maybe they're pushing more power, Let's see what they have to say about the shortwave audience. Yeah, I'm not sure how dated any of this stuff is. The resurgence, I'm not sure what the resurgence looks like. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm going to try to learn a little bit more about it. I think it's a pretty interesting topic. All right, let's see. What do we got going on out here? Devil's Advocate. That might already be Gray Man's show for sure. WRMI is 16 transmitters. Wow. Yeah, so they're quite a bit bigger operation. Is Coast to Coast AM available on shortwave? Coast to Coast AM. Are you just talking about coverage, Dawn? Is that what you mean? Yeah, John, I'm thinking that they're looking for pre-recorded stuff that they will just broadcast. I'm guessing if you are in the Florida area or if you're in the Maine area, maybe you can go to their studios and do a live show. Maybe they're set up to do live shows. I don't know. But like I said, I'm hoping to get some more information. I sent out an inquiry. We'll see what we get back. Let's see. Radio Broadcasting Radio. Hey, Rob. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you out there. Andy, nice to see you out there, Andy. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool stuff. We might dive into that at some, maybe we'll do a little shortwave listening tonight. That might be fun. All right, let's see what we've got out here. Oh, yeah, I wanted to share this with you guys. So I have been playing around with the Spec 5 Trace. So some of you may recognize that goat. That's Dipole. He's getting a little bit bigger. I've posted some pictures of him before, but this week I've been strapping him up with the Spec 5 Trace and just tracking where everyone is going, where the goats go throughout the day. So yeah, Gray Man, you know what? That's a good call. Let me go back to that just real quick, because that is pretty impressive. Let's see here. Let me get back to these guys. Let me get back to that real quick here. I saw that someplace whenever I was looking around. Maybe it was under the About page here. No. Is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Holy mole. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That would be a good field trip just to see what in the heck is going on there. There's all kinds of stuff there. Let's see what else they've got. Oh, here's some other views. Looks like they got some cows on the property as well. I can dig that. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. I'm guessing that's the one you saw, Tim. Uh, let's see. Look up Art Bell. He was a ham operator that used to be the host of Coast to Coast AM. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. Maybe we'll do that a little later, Don. Art Bell. Let me make a note there. Believe it or not, this is the structured part of the program. When we get into the free for all, maybe we'll check that out. All right, let's see. Leased land, the owner. Wayne, man, you're all over it. You got all the detail here. That is good stuff. All right. Well, let me get back here to Dipole. So I've been loading him up with the trace and sending the herd out and tracking the herd throughout the day. And here's what's probably the coolest part about this. So, a lot of times I'm going to generalize, and hopefully I'm not going to offend anybody, but a lot of times we'll play with this technology, right? This Meshtastic stuff. We have a lot of fun with it, certainly. I think it's got good utility when you go to an event. We certainly use it a lot at ham fests, and we have a good time with it. But, I think you could also argue that we're just having fun with it. We're just playing with it, right? This is an application here that when I showed it to Trina here, she actually wanted to get a device. She actually wanted a device so that she could be part of the network and be able to track the herd herself on the phone. So, I think it's pretty cool when, you need to find some application that takes it out of the realm of kind of the playground to something that's really useful. And that's what really gets it beyond our hands as tinkers and hobbyists, right? That's what puts it in the hands of everyday people and really makes this stuff take off, right? You got to have the application. And I just thought it was pretty cool that Trina had some interest, right? We've got this herd of goats. By and large, they stay on the property. The property is fenced for cattle. So it's got 5-strand barbed wire, which, goats basically laugh at, right? They'll walk right through that and, just scratch their back on the way through, right? Say, hey, thanks. I needed a back scratch. Doesn't slow them down very much at all. So, this time of year after a long summer when, we've been really lucky this year. We've had a lot of green for a lot longer than we normally do. But at this time of year, things are a little sparse out there. It's not like it was, a month or so ago. And, the proverbial grass looks greener on the other side. Well, that's a thing for goats too. So they'll look over into the neighbor's pasture and they'll go, hey, there's a whole bunch of brush that no one's taking care of. I'll just help myself to that. And then the whole herd will walk through the fence. And, we then get a phone call from the neighbor that says, hey, your goats are over here? So, one of the cool things about this tracker, and, these are herd animals. You only have to put it on one of them. Wherever one goes, the whole herd goes. So you can see where they are. And, it gets plotted on a map so you can see when they jump the fence. And like I said, there's a real application that takes it out of the realm of a hobbyist into the realm of something useful. And Trina, who's not had any desire at all to play with Meshtastic, now wants a device. So we'll be getting her a device. All right, let's see what we have out here. Oh, let's see. Can I connect? Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Connect your rig up to that antenna farm, see what's going on. Cooley could have been a DJ. Nice. Helium is used to track livestock. Ah, very nice. I'll have to look into that a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that radio show as well. Yeah, the goats are just going out. Hey, they're just trying to keep things tidy around the neighborhood. That's all. Oh, three of the neighbors trade the herd between their properties. Yeah. Hey, look, these guys do a great job keeping things nice and tidy, for sure. Uh, I I do appreciate what they're doing there for sure. All right, let's see here. Just one more thing I think I've got out here. Yeah. So we are just a week away from the Texas QSO party. So this is what I want to talk about tonight as my downlink, my main segment, the downlink topic. Texas QSO party. You know, I've casually worked the Texas QSO party, but I've never like done a hardcore QSO party. And I know some states really get into this. And we actually have a group of folks that are kicking around the idea of trying to put something together and maybe go out to a rare county or a rare-ish county and try to run the QSO party this year. But I just don't know a whole lot about it just because I've never spent a lot of time looking into it. And so let's see here. Let's pull this up and take a look at it. I'm curious. Anyone out there, big QSO party people? I'm curious if anyone has spent any time here doing a QSO party. Well, that looks a little small, doesn't it? Let's embiggen that a little bit. Make that a little easier to see. Now, the first thing we all have to recognize here is, holy smokes, this website is rough. There is just not a lot of time put into this website. What is this? It's an old PHP site. Looks like it's been around for a really long time. Looks pretty rough. Let's see. I'm curious. I'm looking here. Anybody out there a big QSO party person? Let's see. Only get a couple stations in South Texas. Yeah, it makes it pretty tough, Don. I mean, I think the challenge here, of course, is, right, can you get a good NVIS station set up and, can you make that work? So it's certainly a challenge. And, I guess that's one of the reasons why I've never really put a lot of stuff into, put a lot of time or effort or energy into it. Now, I know like Kyle, he's got his group, right? His Missouri crew, those guys go like hog wild. Those guys go bananas for their QSO party. They get serious. But, I just don't know what this is all about. So I thought we'd take a little bit of time here and see how this thing works. Cooley's not a contester. You know, Cooley, I'm not a hardcore contester. There's a few that I really enjoy. I want to, I really enjoy RIDI contests. You know, certainly I think that'll be one of the things that I do here on one of the Friday night uh, late shifts is do some RIDI contesting this fall and this winter. I think it's a ton of fun. And I think, you know, most people when they see it, they say, hey, that looks pretty cool. So I think we could get more people doing it if we could just share it more. So that's one of the things I want to do on a show some weekend. Yeah, I mean 20 meters, that's not gonna that's not gonna cut it if you're a Texas station, right? Satellite only contest. Wouldn't that be nice? You'd have to run it for like a week or maybe even longer, right? Just to get enough passes. But let's see here. So September 20th and 21st. This is interesting, right? So it runs 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., but not all night. Picks back up at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, that's kind of interesting itself. All right, let's see what else we can see here. We're going to check out the rules here shortly. Let's see. Mobile operator, right? That looks to be kind of cool. That could be fun. So fixed operators, mobile operators. All right, let's get into the rules here. Let's see what this is about. Contest rules. Okay, so spotting is okay. It's not a problem. Now let's see here. They don't seem to. I mean, they're saying the use of spotting nets on repeaters, packet nodes, simplex operations, telephone, or by any other means. Okay. All right, so that's cool. So if you want to live stream it, you're not going to get yourself in hot water like in some contests. Operation on all bands is permitted except for 60, 30, 17, and 12. Okay? Makes sense. All modes is permitted in all categories except for the CW only and the phone only. Okay? All digital submodes are considered to be the same mode, right? So all mode digital is digital across the board. All right. So that makes sense. I think I don't have any concerns with that. I think that's cool. Let's see what else we got there. Ohio QSO party. I'm usually the only operator in your county. Wow. Well, that might make you pretty popular, John, right? Because everyone's trying to collect counties. That's the idea. SSTV. There you go. Hey, it's a digital mode. It counts. All right, let's see. Contacts made through repeaters, digipeaters, internet, or gateways not permitted. Yep, makes sense. Let's see. Stations can be worked once per band per mode. Okay. Texas mobiles may be worked only once per band per mode from each county. Okay. I mean, to me, it seems like being mobile looks to be about the most fun you can have doing this thing. Let's keep going though. Texas mobiles may work other stations only once per band per mode from each county covered. Okay. If a Texas mobile and or a portable station is on a county line, separate QSO and exchange must be logged for each county. Okay. That makes sense. Note that the actual exchange may be grouped or done with separate transmission or at the discretion of the operator. Okay. The station located at the county line does not need to be on the line, but must have visual contact with the county line marker. Okay. So that's not bad, right? So if you're mobile and you're in, you know, I'm real close to a county line myself. So I could be in Parker County and see the Wise County sign 100 yards down the road. And it sounds like that counts for both counties. So that's cool. Got to keep safety in mind. Yep. Okay. So that all sounds pretty straightforward. Let's see. Yeah, so John, yeah, I'll bet you've had some pileups as the only operator in a county for sure. Yeah, so you probably can't see unless you've got a spotting scope or something there, Don. That could be stretching the rules just a little bit. I don't think it meets the spirit of the rule. All right, so let's see. All logs must be submitted no later than 2 weeks. Okay. Texas Mobiles must submit a single log. Okay. Contacts made with captive stations do not support the state purpose of the QSO. So what is this? Contacts made with captive stations. Did I miss that? What's a captive station? This includes contacts made with other passengers in a mobile as well as so-called California train operations, wherein a group of mobiles travel together for purpose of making... Oh, I see. So that's what they call a captive station. Okay. That makes sense. The Texas QSO party is scheduled to occur annually. All right. Operating times, we got that. All right. So signal report, state, county, Canadian province, or maritime region. Primary prefix assigned to their country. Okay. Texas stations use Texas County using the TQP standard abbreviations. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. I see some action out there. Let's see. Brant, hey, nice to have you on the stream here. Going to leave the computer in the shack watching. Set one in the house. Same. Ah, there you go. I don't know how that works, Brant, but I applaud the effort, buddy. Can't beat that. I appreciate it. Yeah, exactly, Don. It's whenever you've got a group out at a park and it's a rough day and you don't quite have your 10 contacts, so everyone starts doing the HT to HT contacts. Yeah, that's what they're trying to avoid. I never heard that call. I'm going to use this term though. I've put this in my arsenal. Let me find it again here. What is this? The California train. Where is that? The California train operations. I'm putting that in the arsenal. Ziggy, welcome, buddy. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Hey, Ziggy, I'm looking up the rules for the Texas QSO party. I've never been a big QSO party guy, but we've got a group of hams in Discord that are kicking around the idea of heading out to a seldom represented county is probably the best way to put it. Yeah, I'd never heard of that either, Don. You'll be hearing it now, though. Putting it in the arsenal. All right, so we know what the exchange is. Ziggy, you're just joining. You ever heard of the California train operations? Never knew that there was an actual term for that. curious if anyone else is aware of that. All right, so let's see here. All right. So tons of categories here. Wow, tons of categories. Single operator mixed mode with some power limits. It's an interesting amount, or interesting limit. Instead of 100 watts, it's 150. I find that interesting. Let's see here. I blame California for most everything. Yeah, there you go. We got to put that up there. Uh-oh. Sounds like Ziggy was a man in demand out at his park. Nice. Yeah, but look at all these different operator categories. Single operator, high power greater than 150. Any you guys have thoughts on why they made that 150 instead of 100 watts? It's kind of curious. Multi-operators, high power. Let's see, QRP operators. Boy, that's someone, a glutton for punishment there. CW only, high power, low power, high power phone. Interesting. Oh, so you had an old Kenwood that would do 120 watts. Interesting. Well, this website might be the same vintage as your old Kenwood. I don't know, Dawn. That could be the case. All right, non-Texas fixed stations. Got some mobile operators there as well. And then non-Texas, not North Texas, non-Texas fixed operation categories. Okay. Club Aggregate Award. Okay, so if you want to get together with your club, aggregate all of your logs, that's cool. All right, here we go. Scoring. Texas stations, 2 points per phone, 3 points for CW, and other digital mode. Well, there you go. So that's interesting, right? So your FT8s, your RIDIs, they're all 3 points, just like your CW. Non-Texas stations, no difference in the point value, but let's look at the multipliers. All right, non-Texas stations, your multiplier is the number of Texas counties worked. Okay, maximum 254 counties. Texas stations, multipliers, number of states worked. Okay, got it. Interesting. And then you get your DX contacts. Washington, D.C. QSO counts as a Maryland contact. Okay. Multipliers are counted once for the QSO party. Got it. Okay. All right, so I think that's pretty well straightforward. Okay, here's some bonus points. Non-Texas stations. Add 500 bonus points to your final score for each Texas mobile worked in 5 different counties. Oh, that's interesting. So if you hunt a single mobile station and you get them at least 5 times, 5 hundo. That's a big bonus. Okay. You can only count 1 contact per county per mobile. Okay. Add 500. This is for Texas stations. Add 500 bonus points to your final score for each Texas mobile worked in 5 different counties regardless Okay, so that you get the same kind of benefit there. Let me see here. Same kind of benefit there. Texas Mobiles add 1,000 bonus points to your final score for every county covered with at least 5 non-duplicate add 500s. Wait. Say what? Add 1,000 points to your final score for every county covered with at least 5 non-duplicate bonus points to your final score. Okay. If you work the same Texas Mobile in 5 additional counties, you can add 5 hundo. Yeah. Okay. So log submissions. Okay, that's fine. Get it in through N1MM and 3FJP. Get your Cabrillo format in. And I wonder how long it takes for them to calculate all those. Let's see. And then there's the suggested frequencies. Interesting. Kemah, Texas. Where is Kemah, Texas? Anyone know where Kemah, Texas is? I don't know where Kemah, Texas is. Oh, it's down by Galveston. Between Galveston and Houston. Okay. All right. Well, that's the Texas QSO party. I don't know. I'm curious. Anybody excited about trying to work the QSO party here? Yeah, that is a lot of driving, especially here in Texas. Let's see. Don says he's got an old TS 520 that did 120. Yeah, some older hams do run those, no doubt. Let's see. So you can work on Texas Station. I think it's the Texas POTA contest that limits you to Texas only. Could be. Yeah, well, like I said, I've got a couple of counties here. I can probably get to 3 or 4 counties. Yeah, I mean, it's probably not that bad. It's probably an hour. I can be in 4 different counties. But then to get beyond that, right, it starts to get interesting real quick. Starts to get interesting real quick. All right, let's see what's going on here. Hey, I see some folks out there signed up for the community list. Good move. Appreciate that, folks. It's great to have some more folks on the list there. Let's see. When are contests going to get better online logging systems? Well, I mean, you've got World Radio League, right? They're really trying. They are a web-based online logging system. And, they do some of their own scoreboarding and such, right? So they'll do kind of contests within the contests against other members or other hams using the same application. So I think that's a good example. I think they're trying to do some good things there. They're trying to change the paradigm a little bit. Yeah, I mean these are deep-rooted, difficult problems to solve in ham radio for sure. But you got to have folks that are willing to go out there and try something different, And I give World Radio League a lot of credit. They're trying to do that. there's some other folks that are also trying to make some changes, um, or trying to provide, contests within contests. There was a gentleman in Discord. I probably am not going to remember it right now, that mentioned he's working on a online scoreboard type system for some contesting as well. So I think it's starting to happen. I think we're starting to see some of that stuff come to fruition. The key is people have got to support it, right? So people have got to get out there and try to use these new tools. So Don, you might try to get out there and make a few contacts. I'm curious to see if we get a group together to go do this. I think it could be fun. I think the road trip is the way to go, though. The mobile sounds like the fun way to go. At least I think that's a fun way to go. All right. So let's see. Just about an hour, and we got through the topics that I had outlined for us. So not too bad. Took us just a little bit more than an hour. So now we kind of enter into the free-for-all section here, and we'll see what you guys want to talk about. If what I might try to do here is, while we're chatting, I'm going to bring up some shortwave stations here and see if we can't see if any of those stations that we looked at might be broadcasting. Hey, Jeffrey, welcome. Good to have you out there. Thanks for joining the stream. One of the topics we talked about a little bit earlier, for those who may not have been here, is let me pull that right back up here. We might need this a little bit. There was a gentleman who put a call out on X. I think it was yesterday or so. Alan Weiner, I'm not sure which. Alan put a little video out there saying, hey, we're WBCQ, and we've got some open slots for anybody who would like to do some shortwave broadcasting. And that got my attention. I thought, hey, that sounds like a pretty cool idea. All right, I'm going to be setting up another camera here so I can shoot this at the front of my radio, just so we can kind of toy around with this, and we'll see where the chat goes. Did I mention the T1000E? I don't think I did mention that on this stream. Certainly, for anybody who is interested, anyone who's been looking for one of those, they are here. We can actually go out and take a peek at them. They actually have the T1000E in the U.S. warehouse that's based in California. Now they have a bunch of these T1000 devices, so you want to make sure you get the one 4-mesh-tastic if that's your intent. But yeah, so ships from California. So all the import duties and everything's already baked into the price. So that's good news. And if you guys have been waiting for one of these, I know folks who've ordered them and had them shipped from China. They took quite a while to get here. So it's kind of nice that they've got some stock built up in California. Um, I think when you go to the mobile site, oh yeah, so they got 10 plus. The last time I looked on the mobile site, it said 100 plus. I don't know how quickly they burn through these things, but if I'm actually going to order another one of these, this is what I'm going to get for Trina, so she can keep an eye on the goats. But yeah, if you add this guy to your cart, you can add some other options and whatnot as well, obviously. But I wanted to look at this, Dawn, since you brought that up and you mentioned it. Dawn had commented on a post I had made saying, "Hey, for you folks that are interested, these things are in California. It's a good time. It's a good time to get your hands on one." And I've got a discount code. I've got a 10% discount code, and he was having some trouble getting that to work. Let's see here. What's it? Oh, I'm not logged in. And then down here, if you apply the discount, and let me grab my discount code. Because I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. YCBCLI. There's the discount code. You guys can find that in the Bitsy/DR if you're interested. Yeah, and it took it and gave me the 10% off. So I'm not real sure what you had going on there, Dawn, but it looks like that code's working just fine. All right, let's see here. But yeah, this is a great time to pick one of those up if you want one. Like I said, ships from California. You don't have the long wait. Yeah, I'm glad you got one anyhow. There, Dawn. I don't know if this is your first. I mean, they're a great device, um, especially if you are not needing kind of maximum transmit capability. Yeah, Gray Man, you were a little slow on the draw. I could have used some help there. Well, welcome back, Cooley. Uh, let's see. All right, satellite spreadsheet. EOD, is that a question? Is that what you're looking for? A satellite spreadsheet of the current viable satellites and the frequencies? Is that what you're looking for there? All right, I'm going to get back to setting up to see if we can do some shortwave listening here and see if I can show you guys my radio. All right, let's see. Okay. All right, let's see how this is going to look. Okay. Just getting this set up so I'll be able to turn this on and you guys will be able to see what I'm dealing with here. Turn that down for a second. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All right, let's see. Turn off that speaker. There, hopefully you guys can still hear me okay. Let's see. So this is my Kenwood TS890. It's got a SWL view. So we're looking at the screen. Let's see here. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. This will be interesting. We're going to try this on the fly. Hey, Mike and Mike. Welcome. Good to see you guys. We're playing with a little shortwave here. We're going to see if we can maybe hear some stations from a broadcast facility in Maine. These guys have blocks of radio time available for anyone who wants to broadcast their shortwave programming. So we're going to see if we can hear any of them, right? What's the point in broadcasting if people aren't going to hear you? So I'm just kind of curious what this is going to sound like. All right, let's see here. I'm going to find what stations. All right, let's see. Trying to find. I think I'd closed that window, so I'm trying to find it again here. All right, so this is WBCQ. All right, so they've got a station at 7490. Let's see, where am I at? I'm gonna move this mic over and see if you guys can hear this. See, what am I? I'm looking for 7490.
Disappeared 6 months after arriving at Auschwitz. It's very easy to find accounts that...
Are you guys hearing that audio?
In any case, Reinberg's assumption that anybody who disappeared... also fabricated aspect of design for
Trying to see what this program is. Checking out their programming guide real quick. See, what time is it? It's 11:30 on the East Coast.
For a highly educated nation of war, which was at the time suffering a severe...
All right, this is Devil's Advocate.
This is obvious poppycock.
Poppycock? Are you allowed to say that on radio?
Account, however, is his reference to notorious belching smoke.
Yeah, it is. It's mostly static. All right. That was one of their channels. That's Devil's Advocate. It's pretty staticky. Let's try another one of their frequencies. So these guys have, you can buy an hour of broadcast time for $30. All right, so let's go up to 9,330 and see if we can hear that one. Boy, this is absolutely quiet, so I'm not sure what the dealio is there. Let's try 5,130. I don't hear anything out there in 5,130. Let's try 3,265. I don't hear anything on that. We've got another one here, 6,160. All right, I'm not hearing anything on those. I'm going to check that other that other station in Florida. See what they broadcast on. All right, let's see. All right, so I don't like the way they have this laid out. Let's see. I just want to see what your frequencies are. They've got their radio programs. Show you guys what I'm looking at here. Let me turn this down. They've got their radio programs listed. Let's get back to the top. Okay, maybe this is what I want. Let's see the entire transmission schedule. Oof, here we go. Yeah, they've got a ton of transmitters here. Holy smokes. 14 transmitters. But do these tell us what the frequency is? Oh, okay, it's up here. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's take a different approach. Let's spin the dial. Now this is regular AM down here. Well, some of it is. Let's see. Here's long wave. See if there's anything. If I find something interesting, I'll get the mic closer so you guys can hear that. That's all just regular radio. Not interested in that. Let's move along here. Okay. Now, in terms of antenna, I've just got this connected to an end-fed half wave. It's actually connected to a what is it? It's a 1982. The old MFJ end-fed half wave. I'm not hearing just a lot of great stuff here. Let's see. I'm just spinning the dial here, trying to see if I can pick anything up. Then I'm going to see how it might align with the WRMI schedule. Well, I found something. This is around 8:45. Just sounds like radio. Sounds like AM radio is what it sounds like. Let's keep moving. Jonathan, this is the Kenwood TS890. And this is a shortwave listening display. It's just an option built into the radio. Here we got something. Nothing that I can understand. Let's see. Let's see, 50-50. Let's see. All right, so that is WRMI Legends. That's the coming out of Transmitter 4 in Florida. So that was just music, but that's coming from that Florida station. All right, let me find another one, 7570. Let's see how that one looks. This has got something on it. Belgian ship, V-wide and with lots of saucers. Just some talk though, not a great signal. Hey Mike, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I think that's exactly what she was saying, Brant. Oh, nice. Good luck. Good luck in the contest. Jonathan. Hey, man, that's great. Got a super chat. Appreciate that. Thanks. I'm just starting ring to post with shortwave. Not following you completely there. But hey, thanks. Certainly, thanks for the super chat. Thanks. I'm just starting to listen to shortwave stuff. Maybe that's what you're trying to get out. Cool. Let's see if we can't find something else here. What's another station? 7730. I don't have anything there. So how about 9955? Nothing there. We already tried 50-50, 75-70 we hit, 93-95. Let's try that. Boy, there's something really faint down there, but I can barely hear it. Hey, just starting to play with. Cool. Yeah, it's certainly interesting stuff. And I just love the idea of actually broadcasting. So I don't know if you've been here the whole time or not, Jonathan, but I came across the post earlier this week where a station manager or owner was saying, "Hey, we've got blocks of time on our transmitters. So if you want to broadcast on shortwave, we can take care of you." So on their website, it showed that at least in one of their transmitters, it's $30 an hour, which quite honestly, I thought that was pretty reasonable. And then I sent an email out to them to get more information. So who knows? If nothing else, it'd be something to do. It'd be something fun to do at least once. All right, let's see what else we got out there. 17,790. No good reception there. I'm going to try this 5950. These are all transmitter frequencies from the Florida radio station, WRMI. So 5950. Let's give that one a try. That's not what I wanted. Let me try that again. Okay, so this is Radio Slovakia International. So that's interesting. That's coming out of that Florida station. All right, let's try something else here. 15,770. I overshot that. Nothing on that one. 5,800. Let's try that. So there's something there, but
President Xi Jinping has ordered his armed forces to be prepared to act against Taiwan by 2027.
Sounds like a news program. All right, let's see what else we've got here. 9455.
And I've also, for people who regularly send in reception reports, I've been trying to mix it up a little bit and send some different EQSLs that from pictures I've taken either up around my radio or even around Hawaii here on Molokai. So send those in, and I will mix up those EQSLs.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Something a little bit different each time. If you
No, that wasn't a misplaced decimal. It was $30. $30 for an hour of broadcast time. So you see that guy there sounds like he's in Hawaii. That's the other thing that on this Florida radio station website. Here, let me show this to you guys. By the way, this is what I'm working from. I'm just going across the top of these various frequencies. But these guys, where did I saw? Oh yeah, right here. So they've got a QSL form that you can fill out. Tell them, your information, what you've been listening to, the quality of the reception. You can send in some audio files if you want. And then it sounds like they send you a QSL card. So that's kind of cool. All right, so let's see if there's... I just want to see if we got any other stations here that are coming in with strong signal. This doesn't seem like the best antenna. I might have to play around with some different antennas. But it's fun anyhow. Let's see here. 5850.
v úvozovkách orách a museli sme sa pláziť z izby do kuchyne, aby nás Nemci nevideli. Čiže v tých ľuďoch to žilo, niektorí to zatajovali, niektorí to dostávali von, ale fungovalo a funguje to dodnes.
All right, let me find the chat. I lost you guys. There you are. All right, so let's see. We've got just a couple of more here. I'm just, so there's a few stations that were decent. Now, part of the fun here is, trying to improve your reception, listening at different times. Actually, I think I don't need those no more. Listening at different times, you'll have different reception, just like any other kind of radio propagation that we all deal with. Let's try 7780. We've got that, and then 5010. No, I don't want that. Let's clear that. Might help if I put the right frequency in. Nope, didn't help. Would a discone be good for shortwave? Yeah, I think that would be. I think that'd be a great antenna for shortwave. I don't have a discone. Don, I think if I remember, you've got a discone at your place, or maybe I'm not sure if you've got it set up in your new place. We'll see if he chimes in here. But I think Don has a discone that he's used for for reception. I ordered another and logged in this time and it worked. That's interesting, Dawn. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, that's a good point. Dawn, am I recalling correctly that you have a discone that you use for receive, maybe for some shortwave stuff? I do like this kind of retro dial that they put on here. It's pretty cool. This is a great radio. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this radio, but it's a great radio. Get this back in the ham bands. See if we got anything out there tonight. My primary antenna is in disrepair right now. So I've got a DX Commander that I need to do some work on. But my secondary antenna is this MFJ 1982 or 1984. Can't recall exactly what the model line is or what the model is. It's the in-fed half wave. I've had really good luck with it. And I'm not seeing anything out there right now, though. Let's see here. Well, I'm curious now. There's just not seeing it in the waterfall. What do I have turned off here? Oh, let's see what Don have to say here. Let me turn that down. Okay, you do have a discone up. Oh, you've got one that's for VHF to 6. Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I would expect, well, I mean, I was getting a few stations out there. Wasn't great. It's been a while since I've fired this radio up. I've been using the Flex for most of my voice stuff here at the shack, and it's sad that it's sad how quickly you'll forget how some of this stuff, some of the features, where things are. Yeah, I'm just not seeing anything in the waterfall at all. I think I've got something. I must have something on where I'm not getting the waterfall. I would expect to hear some stuff here on... Oh, I can hear some stuff. I'm going to have to play around with it and see what's going on with it. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and shut that camera down. All right. So we kind of hit the shortwave topic a little bit. What do you guys want to chat about now? Let's see. How's everyone doing? We have some folks out there. We've got a few folks out there. We got 25, 26 people out there. So people aren't asleep yet. I haven't put everybody to sleep quite yet. All right, let's see. How about any questions? Any questions here from the chat that I might be able to, might give us a good topic? Let's see. Oh, a delta loop. Dawn, I've got another antenna project I've got to work on. I've got my my beverage antenna that I've got 2 reversible beverage antennas in one of my pastures, and the deer have got to it. So I've got the way I've got it deployed is I've got a bunch of 7-foot fence posts, and I've got them, you know, into the ground to where the post is, you know, it's a foot into the ground, so it's 6 feet tall, and then the wires run across the top of that 6-foot tall fence post, and I've got some little standoffs that the wires run through so they're not touching the fence posts. But I've had some deer, some bucks with their horns or something have got into that and knocked down some of my wire. Yeah, the deer were thirsty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some PVC pipe and put that on top of the post, the fence post, and probably take that up to, I'll probably take it up to 8 feet and extend each of those metal fence posts by 2 feet, maybe a little bit more, so that I've got an 8-foot level post across the way, and restring my beverage wire. I got to get that stuff ready for the winter here. That's when I do most of my kind of general radio stuff in the shack during the winter, it seems, where I'm out running around doing who knows what all summer. You know, all the various trips and stuff that we take, all the ham fests that we go to, our national park trip that we take every year, those types of things. So a lot of that stuff slows down over the winter. So that's when I actually get in the shack and start doing some stuff, which works great. That's when most of the RIDI contests are. And I want to get everything set up for the RIDI contests that'll be coming up here. Yeah, I'll bet you those painter poles do work pretty well. I really like the fence posts, right? Those things, I mean, they're made to be out there in the weather, right? They last for years and years. I just didn't put them high enough, right? I got 7-footers thinking, all right, I'll put a foot in the ground. Maybe it might not quite be 6 foot. They may be 5.5 feet. Wasn't high enough, was the bottom line. So I've got to extend those, and I'm going to do it with some PVC. Get that, get those beverages back up and running. Let's see. Oh, I know what else I can try. Told you guys I've been dorking around a little bit here with adding some capability to the live stream here. Let me get this ready here. All right, let's try this. I've got an overhead camera that I've set up recently. Okay. So I can show off things. I brought this in to show you guys. Here, let me take this off. This is a big, nasty old collar. It's a 30-inch collar that I use with the goats. In the past, I've put a bell on this so you can kind of hear them, which works pretty decently, but you know, when they get on, you know, the other side of the ranch, I'm not going to hear them. So this is the Spec 5 Trace. This is what I've been toying around with. So this is a custom designed case by the folks at Spec 5. It's 3D printed. This is an early prototype. This is one of their early ones. So they actually, I've had this for quite a while. I've just had to get some other things in place to be able to take advantage of it. But I thought you guys might want to see how this thing was constructed. It's got an interesting design. It's a little bigger than you might think, right? Put it in the palm of my hand. Okay, I wear an extra large glove size. That gives you an idea. It's it's a little bit bigger than you might think it would be. But it's got a good design. I do like the design. I'm glad that they made these big enough that you can actually get a wide collar through it. Let me get the chat up here so I can see you guys here while we're doing this. There you are. Hey, Todd. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Nice to see you out there. But I thought this was pretty cool, the way they did this. It's got kind of an interesting clamshell design. You've got these screw downs, so you have to loosen these up first. Come on. I may have had this one a little too tight. There we go. And then you swing these down and it opens up. Okay. And then it's got some goat hair on it. And then it's got a gasket in the lid, right? So whenever you kind of torque these down, that's what gives you your, let me make sure that that's going to be, when you torque that down, that's what gives you the waterproofness. Let me just make sure this is going to be the best I can do from a focus standpoint. So it's got your mesh-tastic antenna up here. It's got your GPS here, and it sits on an angle, which is a great idea. It's got like a little, that looks like maybe that glue has come loose in the Texas heat. I'll have to share that with the boys over at Spec 5. Yeah, it looks like that's popped off. But they've got it sitting at an angle, which is great, right? If you think about it, this is going to, more often than not, what happens is because it's heavy, it kind of slides down and dangles at the bottom of the collar. It's not like it's going to stay up on top. And so, putting that down here at an angle gives you a good chance of picking up the GPS. And I've not had any issues at all with it registering, GPS. I always get a number of satellites. Had no problem at all with it meshing with the network. Right, the goats have been all over the ranch here. I've got a relay that's up on the barn, and that's what kind of gives me my coverage across the ranch. And but yeah, it's pretty slick little design. I'll get her charged up tonight. I get about 2 days of runtime on it. It's got a smallish battery on it, but I get about 2 days of runtime on it. And then I bring it in and get it charged up. On one hand, it would be nice if you could charge it without opening the case, but I've not had any issues with anything getting into this case, so I think it's a good trade-off. So now what I've been playing with each day whenever I send this up, or whenever I set it up each day, I will change some of the GPS settings just to see what works the best. So I'll go in and I'll change how frequently it's going to transmit the GPS coordinates. There's also a setting in there for kind of smart, it's almost like a smart beaconing, like how far will the GPS move before it rebroadcasts, right? So I'm playing with some of those settings to see what works the best. I think I'm getting it pretty well dialed in. I'm gonna run it this. I'll run it tomorrow, and I think I'll have what I need to finish the video then. All right, let's see. Oh, nice, John. Working the Worked All Europe DX single sideband. Nice. Well, thanks for fitting us into your schedule. That's awesome. Yeah, we can look up Art Bell. That's a good idea. Yeah, goat hair is extra. Goat hair, mohair. Yeah. Goat hair is pretty expensive, actually. I'd like to see how you get the mesh data to a map on the phone. Yeah, we can. Hey, Ron. Nice to see you out there, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, I think we can probably do that, Ron. Let's see here. I'm gonna pull up. Dawn gave us a topic a little earlier in the evening, and we're gonna check this out. We're gonna check out Art Bell. All right, let's see if we can find Art Bell. Coast to Coast AM host. All right. We're not going to focus on the cause of death. We're going to focus on his legacy. Let's keep it positive here. Let's see here. I'm looking for a good link. Guess we can check here first. Right, we all go to Wikipedia first. Let's see. American broadcaster and author. The founder and original host of the paranormal themed radio program Coast to Coast AM. I didn't know that was a paranormal show. Interesting. Also created and hosted its companion show Dreamland. Coast to Coast is still on nightly. So when is this on? Let's see. Weeknights by George Noory. Premier Networks. So let's see. So it doesn't look like it's, is this still okay, yeah. No. Is this still broadcast on shortwave? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Let's leave art here for a second and let's go to the radio show and see what we can find here. West Coast AM, coast to coast. Okay, an American late night. It deals with a variety of topics, paranormal, conspiracy theories. Okay. Oh, here's George. Hey, George. Let's see. Premier Networks. So it sounds like it might not be on shortwave. Sounds like it's on iHeart Media. Hey, Patrick. Let's see here. Last of the late night talk shows. Yeah, see, this guy's like, I gotta do some more research here, right? I mean, he's a late night guy. I'm doing a late night thing here. I should know Art Bell. Oh, wow. Interesting. That's very cool. All right, let's see what else. I mean, I wish it was on shortwave. I want to find some cool shows to listen on shortwave to. Let's see. Let's find. All right. Let's see if we can find. Okay, here we go. Like Bizarre History. Yeah, but not right now. Okay. So. Let's see. Where do you get these things? So, Dawn, did you used to listen to this on shortwave? Oh, look, here you got the vault. Oh, this is cool. Oh, yeah. So you can get caught up on some of these. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking some of this out. Okay, this looks fun. All right, let's see. Stations. All right, let's see. Do we have any Texas stations? Okay, so we can get regular AM. Okay, so that's cool. So that's almost as good. See, coming out of Wichita Falls, I could probably get that. Hey, here's Temple. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we got Dallas right here. Yeah, so we should be able to get some of those. So let's see, Dawn, not on shortwave, but I heard that it was rebroadcast on some shortwave. Well, you know what? I saw something there. Let's go back to stations. Looks like on YouTube as well. More listening options. Sirius XM. Android, iOS. So they have podcasts. So that's cool. I guess this is where we were. So maybe might take some more digging to find it on shortwave. But this is pretty cool regardless. Said you can listen to it on AM radio. All right, let's see when. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Dallas, Friday and Saturday, 12 a.m. We're almost there. We'll be there in an hour to 5 a.m. Very cool. That's a long show, 12 to 5 a.m. So this guy covers the night. Everybody loves that, right? These radio stations love that. 5-hour radio show. Far out. That's cool. Hey, that's a great suggestion, Dawn. That's very cool. Let's see. W6 Oscar Bravo Bravo. Very cool. Well, I saw someone mentioned, right, that he would dive right in. Oh, yeah, right here, Patrick. That's so cool. Hey, Cooley, thanks for hanging out, buddy. It was good to see you. Appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend, buddy. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Good topic. All right, what else do we got out there? It is 11:11. Hank listened on AM radio. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick up some of that. Gene Shepard. All right, this sounds like something else I'm going to have to look up. You guys are schooling me here tonight. I like it. Is this what you're talking about here? Also a great late night talk show guy and former ham. Did I spell it? Did I get the wrong? I got the wrong Gene Shepard. Let's see. Let's try. Here we go. This looks like it's likely who we're looking for. Gene Parker, Shepard. Maybe this is who you're talking about, Patrick. The mesh map on the phone. All right, let's see. Well, it's been 5 days since I took down my antenna at the old shack. I'm pretty sure I'm going through RF withdrawals. Oh, that sucks, Mike. Sorry to hear it, man. Sorry to hear it. Let me see here. All right, let's see here. Let me find I got to connect to the trace. All right, so now I'm connected to the trace. So a few different things you can do, right? You can come in here. Now these always need kind of, whenever you first pull them up, they need reset just a little bit. This view's okay, but what's more interesting, and this will just show what you've got on your network. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Let's see, well, let me do it on, okay, good. Let's see if it's going to pull in all these. And it doesn't look like it is. So I've got, so over here is my barn, and I've got a solar node on top of this barn. And so here's, the goats can roam all through this area here. They've got free roam all through here. So let's go in and look at the node. If you go into the node itself, you do a long press on the node name and then go into details. Let me pull up the chat, so if you guys have questions, I can try to answer them as you're asking them. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to do the map. Let's see. Yes, no, it's okay. I got it here. Okay. All right. Hey, Del. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you out there. So if you do that long press and then you come down, you scroll down on here, there's a few things you want to kind of recognize. You have this position log, and there, depending on how your device is set, it's going to be spewing out the position, to meet the criteria that you have defined. And I'll show you where you can set that up. That's what I've talked about, that I'm playing with that and tinkering with the best settings to track this. If you then go into node map, what you can see it does, and this is a couple of days, right? So it's a hot mess. With, more than 1 day's worth of tracking on here, right? You can see everywhere that the goat has went. So give you an idea here, if I can even, so they've been down at this pond. Now you'll get some strays, right? So this is a road here. Here, I guess I want to do it here. This is a road here. This is not accurate, right? So you'll get some strays here. They don't go over in this area here, but they certainly go all over the place here. So you can really see where they've been. Now, the best course of action, and what I'll do tomorrow morning before I put the collar back on the goat, is I'll go into this position log and I'll clear it. You can see right here, you can clear it. And then that'll start you out fresh, so that if you look at this node map, it'll be empty. Okay. Now, again, you can, let's see here. Let's try to get these things to resync. This is more real time, this view here, right? You guys have probably seen this as you're playing with Meshtastic before, right? So I've got a network that's only configured for my nodes, right? So I'm using a special configuration with a special key for the channel. And so you can see wherever the goats are on the map in real time during the day. So this is the thing that got Trina interested, is, hey, I can see if the goats are getting, out to the road or something like that, right? So that gives you kind of a real-time view where when you do the long press and you go into this node map here, this shows you the history of everything that's in your position log. Okay. Now, if you go into, and here you can see, right, I've got the trace, I've got the relay that's up on the barn, and I've got a tracker delta that I just keep here in the house, and then everything is connected. But if I go into this radio configuration and I go into position, you can change these settings and it'll impact how many of those entries you get in that position log. So here you can say, I want to see it every 30 seconds, right? Now that may be too frequent for your needs, right? These are all things I'm playing with. So here you can set the interval. Here's that smart broadcast, right? So I only want to see it changed when the goat's moved at least 10 meters, right? When that GPS is 10 meters from the last tracking point. And then there's also a broadcast minimum, right? That you can say, even if they haven't moved in 90 seconds, actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to say if they haven't moved that 10 feet or 10 meters, I'm going to make that higher. I think that will help. I got to see how I get my keyboard here. I'm not sure how to get my keyboard here, but I'll change that once I get disconnected. I'm going to make this probably, I think I'll make this 3 minutes. Now these times are all in seconds. Oh yeah, it tells you right here. But you can play with these and then it will change how many records are written to that position log. And then that will dictate how busy that is whenever you're looking at it. Right? Because this here is just way too busy. So I need to cut that down. So does that get you what you need there, Ron? Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. So Don, does that get you what you're looking for? Yeah. I'm not sure why. I'll try to give these a second to resync. So those of you who have been watching my my ground station series, right? I showed some of this whenever I was trying to pick the location for my antenna system. So I'm going to be putting my antenna system out here. This is kind of the high point. Here I can show you what I mean. If I go to one of these other, maybe this, yeah. So here you can see that that's a high point on the property right there. So that's why I'm picking that spot. For the antenna system. I also looked at a spot over here, which isn't bad. It's not awful, but it's not the highest spot. Then I also looked at a spot over here. All of them are away, all of them require a certain amount of coax though, right? All right. let's see. Del Fargus. I thought the smart position was what shows your node's position, but obscures by whatever precision you defined. Let's see. Did you figure out how much loss for the distance? I did. I looked at the loss, and I've got all this stuff in a video I've got to get out for folks. The loss is based on the type of cable and the distance. I ended up going with Heliax because it has the best loss at those higher frequencies, right? Better than LMR 400 or LMR 600. But and it's not too bad. Also, I'm going to be running some preamps, so I'll get. Hey, Ron, thanks for joining the Sprite Blitters, buddy. Much appreciated. I don't recall all those off the top of my head, but that's a video I've got to finish up here and get out pretty quickly. I'm going to put all those, I've got all that in a spreadsheet, so I'll just share that spreadsheet as part of that video. All right, let's see. Del, you were asking about smart position. Well, let's dig into it here. All right, let's see. Here's our GPS update interval, fixed position, smart broadcast. We'll send out, let's see, is that big enough for you guys? Let's make that a little bigger. All right, let's see. So this is the smart broadcast. You can make me look on my, see how I've got things configured here. So smart position, I've got smart position enabled. So I don't think it's smart broadcast. I want to, well, let's see. So GPS mode, GPS update interval, how often we should try to get GPS position. Okay, fixed position, no, smart broadcast. Minimum distance. Okay, let's see. The minimum distance in meters traveled since the last send before we can send a position to the mesh if its smart broadcast is enabled, right? So I've got it enabled, right? The default is 100 meters. I changed it to 10 meters, right? I'm just trying to dial in to see what makes the most sense in my situation, but I've got it for 10 meters. So I'm saying don't send me another record. Don't send me another ping. If I'm within 10 meters, right? And I think that's, you know, I'm trying to track, I want to see everywhere that they go. So 100 meters is certainly too far. 10 meters feels about right. Maybe I could go a little bit further, but I think 10 meters is right for me. Okay, smart broadcast minimum interval, the minimum number of seconds since the last send before we can send a position to the mesh at the smart broadcast. Yeah. So I've currently got that set to 90. I need to make that much longer, I think. So yeah, I think tweaking those will have a big impact on how many records you're capturing in that position report. 1.815 dB per 100 foot at 150 megahertz sounds about right. I mean, you got to look at the worst case scenario though. Look at 400 and 440 megahertz. That's probably right. That's going to give you your worst case, right? Your loss goes higher as your frequency goes up. But that's, that's not bad, right? That's less than a dB at 100 feet for 150. So for your 144, it's not going to be bad. But let's see what it looks like at 440 megahertz or 50 megahertz. Let's see, Dell, did we get squared away there? Yeah, so I think that smart positioning is you can really think of that like your APRS smart beaconing, right? It's very analogous to smart beaconing for APRS. Yeah, 1.45 dB. Now, that sounds like the Heliax number, right? And that's per 100 foot. So I'm going, 250 foot. Right, so I'm going to be, losing 4 dB, somewhere around there. A little less than 4 dB, right? Which, I mean, that's real loss. But again, that's why having a ICOM IC9700 is helpful, right? You can push much more power. I mean, you're not going to get 100 watts or that 90 watts to your antenna system because of those losses, but you're going to be okay. I think we got Dell's question answered. I think we're squared away there on that. Now, what's interesting is if, right, that looks, if I recall, that's the Heliax numbers. Go to LMR 400 and see how quickly that, changes up. Here, let's, instead of, let's go out here to ABR. Okay, and let's see. Let's go to their data sheets. Let's go to their ABR 600. So this is the better stuff here, right? Better meaning I think it's got, well, this is the more flexible stuff. This is like their Ultra Flex here. So at 450, at 100 per 100 feet, I mean, ouch. Right? So you're going to certainly lose more there. Now that's 600. Let's go to 400. Right? Oof. You guys might not be able to see that. Sorry. That's painful. That's painful. Yep. Yeah, no, that, I mean, that Heliax is, I mean, it's why it's so expensive, right? And that's, I went with the half-inch stuff, right? You go with the, what is it, 7/8? I mean, I think they call it an inch. It's not quite an inch. That stuff's really expensive. You know, at full retail, I'm talking $2,000 in just coax. Now I'll be doing better than that with some discounts and stuff, but that Heliax is expensive, and those Heliax connectors are expensive, right? Those things are like $25 a pop, something like that. So get what you pay for, though. I think, let's see. They might not have it on here. These guys resell, I think, some Heliax. They resell that. Let's go look for that. Let's see. I'm not sure if they... Oh, this is all their ABR stuff. These guys do resell some other stuff. Let's go here. Maybe I've seen it here. This is all ABR stuff. I've seen it somewhere on their site. Is it under here? I don't think they've got the data sheets for that stuff. People that are buying that know what they're buying, right? They stock some of that stuff for some of their commercial customers. Maybe it's in the commercial coax builder. Nope, they don't have it listed in here. Have any of you guys tried those new connectors that ABR has that you can swap out the connector? It's a modular connector. It's kind of slick. I've got it on some cables that I bought for one of my satellite rigs. And I like the convenience of it. The thing that I've noticed, though, is with the handling of the cable, the replaceable part or the modular part can become loose. Yeah, the FME stuff. Hey, Mike. Who's leaving? Is Mike leaving? Oh, no. Tim's leaving. Hey, Tim. Thanks for sticking around, buddy. Good luck with your live stream later this weekend. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, I've got... Do I have it up here? No, I don't have it up here. Or do I? No, I don't. For the Fram to Ham competition, I guess it was competition. It's competition if you were in the right age bracket. It was just fun for the rest of us. But in the Fram to Ham event, I had put a low noise amplifier on my receive station. Of course, that was receive only, right? Satellite or SSTV via satellite. And so in getting that set up to use that LNA, I needed some new cable. So I bought some custom cables from ABR. Those cables were great. I mean, they do such a nice job. And I know they're right in Texas, so your mileage may vary, but I mean, I got those things in like 2 days, and I didn't like pay for any kind of expedited shipping or anything like that. And I don't have like, you know, a special relationship with those guys. You know, I was just Joe customer, and they really turned those things around really, really quickly. It was great. And, I reached out to Chuck and talked to him whenever I was doing my cable selection as well. And boy, I tell you, he is a knowledgeable guy. He really knows what's going on. Of course, he knows all of his products, but he also knows all the LNA vendors out there. He knows like the specs, the capabilities of all those things. He was just pulling stuff off the top of his head. It was quite impressive. So certainly a great resource. I don't know that people realize what a fantastic resource he is. And look, he's not, he's going to present you with his options, but he'll also say, look, here's other options, right? He was very upfront with me and said, look, you might want to look at some other cable for your situation, right? So instead of just trying to sell me on his cable, he was helping me find the best solution for my situation. I really respect that. It was fantastic. Wow, 5 days to get out to Guam. That's impressive, EOD. Hey, John, thanks for sticking around. Hope you got some more contacts there with your DX contest. Thanks for hanging out and doing double duty with us. Appreciate it. What do we got here? 11:45. Let's see. I saw ABR's Heliax is under commercial hardline. All right, let's see. Trying to remember what they call that. I don't see it in the list. Let's go back to data sheets. It might be here. Oh, here's the other thing these guys do. That's really fantastic. These guys have some quick disconnects for rotator cables, right? So there's a couple ways you can solve this problem. I think everybody does a good job of putting lightning protection on their coax, but when you're running a rotator out at your antenna, you also need to protect that rotator cable connection, right? You can get lightning back on that just as you can your coax. So, one way to do that is to buy an expensive box that terminates, and then get your cable to terminate in all these spade lugs like this, and have a physical surge suppressor on that cable. And it's not a bad idea. I've looked into it though. That box is kind of chunky. It's not like a Svet piece of gear that you can kind of slip into your cable termination point at all. I really like this rotator, these quick disconnects that ABR will do. Now you have to go out and actually physically disconnect it, but in terms of having a solution, that works really well. You got to be home. You got to be able to disconnect that though. But it's a full physical disconnect versus, trying to handle that through some sort of surge suppression. Let's see, Mike. I didn't know. Are you talking about these rotator cables, or are you talking about that LDF4? Thanks, EOD. That's what I was looking for. EOD4. that is what they, that's their stuff. Let's see. See if it's out here. Am I just not seeing it? Yeah, it's not on there. I know I'd come across it here at some point. Let's see, is it in here? They do mention it out on their site. I'm just struggling with, ah, I guess, see, I was there. Hardline cables. Oh, okay, let's see, where's the hardline cables? Am I missing it? Hey, Jason. Thanks for the super chat. Much appreciated. Thanks for joining and hanging out as well. We still have some people hanging out there. I got to go back a screen. Okay. All right. Let's try this. Nope. Click commercial again. Okay. I know it's got to be around here because maybe it's in the product page. Click commercial again, not the builder. Is there something in here? Yeah, I don't know where that went. EOD, I know it's out there. I've stumbled upon it myself. Because I think they have two different flavors. It's not here. Maybe it's down here. Let me just make sure. I feel like you're on the right path. It is in the commercial group. Wasn't there. But I don't know where it's at. Let me take a better look here. Maybe it's in here and I was just being too... Yeah, Mike, take a look at their rotator cable. It's competitively priced and it's their disconnects I think are the way to go. If I'm not mistaken, they're just reselling this LDF4. It's not their cable, and that might be why it's not coming up here. But I had found it at one point because I asked Chuck about it, and I am almost positive that he said they're just reselling that. Consumer and then hardline. Okay, let's try this. Ah, there it is. There it is. Yeah. This LDF50, that's actually not a, I'm almost positive this is not a ABR product. I'm almost positive they just resell this. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. That LDF4 is, that's a, that's your hard line. That's your 1/2 inch hard line. So that's, they, like I said, they sell it. They keep it on hand. People that need it know what it is. And, if they're in a pinch, they'll get it to them. Now here's the other thing too. Look at this. 100 foot was like the most that they showed, um, as an availability. Now you can call Chuck, and if he's got other length, of course he'll sell that, but 100 foot's the only thing that they show on the website. Yep. Yep. You got it, EOD. You got it. Now check out these connectors as well. Oh, they don't have, well, here, let's see. Yeah, so let's, we'll keep that there. Those connectors are doggone expensive for that stuff. And you have to have like a, those are a crimp style connector. You have to have a special, crimper to get, to put those things on. I mean, that is one benefit. Those guys put them on for you. But yeah, they're expensive. Those things are spendy. But yeah, great resource. If you guys ever have any cabling questions at all, do not hesitate. Chuck will not steer you wrong. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm a lot of you guys probably weren't on when the stream started. I was talking about, how I started writing my own little tool to pull the chat into my stream. So there's, third party products. They all, in most cases, it's part of a suite of tools that allows you to bring it into your stream and style it the way you want to. But knowing that Google has an API out there, I decided to try to write one myself. And so I'm excited to get that wrapped up. My first try, I had something screwed up in the in how frequently I was hitting that API, and I chewed through 10,000, essentially 10,000 hits of the API in less than 30 minutes, and they slapped me with a quota, and I had to wait until the next day to try again. And so I changed my code, and it got a little bit better. I went almost an hour, and then I hit my quota. But I think I've got my issue squared away. So I think at midnight my quota gets reset. I don't know that for sure, but I think it's at midnight. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to keep that off to the side and see. I'll be curious. I don't know if it's midnight Eastern. Well, it's not Eastern because I'm still in the doghouse, or um, if it's midnight your local time, or if it's something else. So when that thing hits, when the clock hits midnight, oh, just hit midnight here, Texas time. Do a refresh. I'm still in the doghouse. All right. We'll have to wait a little bit longer. Rob, nodding off. Not fair to all the other fans. Have a good evening. Hey, man, it was good to have you here. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Andy, GMT. It might be midnight GMT. That makes sense. I just know that whenever I was done tinkering with it in the evening the other night, I went to bed. When I got up in the morning, I was out of the doghouse. So we'll see if I can get that squared away. It's a fun little project, though. All right, what else do we got, guys? Let's see. We still have some folks hanging out with us. Let's see what the ooh, we're down below 20 now. So we'll see if you guys have another topic here. Let's see if I've got anything I haven't chatted about that's new here. Talked about the trace. That's been fun. That's been a good little project. Here, let me switch over to this here video as well. Let's see, where am I at? Let's see here. Where'd that go? I gotta believe that with a little more practice, I won't be chasing down all these windows and such all the time. Let's see here. Here, let me switch this over. So this guy here, let me make sure you guys can see it. This thing here's been a lot of fun as well. Make sure I can get this thing. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, this thing's been a lot of fun as well. I think I'm pretty much through most of my kind of bench testing. I'm going to be carrying it for a while before I put the review out on it. But this is a nice device. It's I really like the flexibility of, here, let's try to give you guys that view there. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. It says GPS on and off, but I really like the fact that you can turn that GPS on and off. So if you don't need it, you can conserve the battery. Of course, you can do it through software as well, but sometimes it's just easier to hit a switch, you know? Of course, USB-C, kind of expected. I'm so glad we're at the stage where it's expected. It's also got just a little, let's see if I've got, I don't think I have anything that's light colored. Right here on the corner, it's got a little lanyard slot. I don't know if you guys can see that. I was hoping that would go through. It's a little too thick. But it's got a lanyard slot right here, which is nice. And then I really like the fact that it's just got this on-off switch, right? A physical on-off switch that feels good. And then this also runs the backlight. Really nice little node. I'm really liking this. This is the Elecro ThinkNode M1. Slick little piece of kit. It also has a couple of LEDs on here. Not all of these are LEDs. You have one on either side that's actually an LED. The other thing too about this is it just feels like a brick. It just feels solid. This is hard plastic here. It's not bendy or flexible, but it doesn't bother me because it's so short. Now, what I haven't seen from these guys is, you know, some sort of mounting capability, right? They've got these screws here, but I haven't seen anything that takes advantage of those. It'd be nice if this had some sort of clip that you could clip it on something. So this has been fun. I really like it. I really like the e-ink display. That's good stuff. Let's see what else I've got here. Don't know that I've got any other new gadgets or gizmos to share with you guys right now. See if I'm missing anything in the chat here. I'm a night owl. This time on Fridays is always perfect to me. Hey, yeah, that's exactly what the idea here is, Mike. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. Oh, Ghost Man, did you get one of these Elecros? Let's see. I'm just wondering if wearing that goat collar will interfere with my bass cast. I guess it depends on how good you are with the rod and reel. The new Spec 5 devices. So I have here. Let's bring those up. I've seen some of them. I've not seen all of them. Let's see here. I can tell you what I have seen. I'm supposed to be getting my hands on, I've not seen the Strike. I have seen the Nomad 2. I'm supposed to be getting a Nomad 2 at some point here. They're going to be sending one of those out. I do have, I've had the Nomad 1. I really like the idea. The concept is really cool. I think with some of the refinement in the version 2, it could be really interesting. I'm curious. Now, let's see here. Of course, I've seen the new Voyager. We actually ran it on the truck out in Colorado for several days. And it worked great. I think I'm actually going to pick one of these up for on my truck as my permanent node on the truck. But let's see here. I want to find. I've seen their Raven UAS. That's pretty slick. I've had the Copilot in my hand for a while. They sent one out to me. I returned that to them. It's a great little device, perfect for a drone. I know KM4ACK has been playing with one of those as too. So here's the Nomad. Now, some of the changes or the things that are different here. This keyboard is, can't make that bigger unless maybe I can make it bigger here. No, I can't make it bigger there either. This keyboard is different than the original Nomad. The original Nomad had kind of individual keys, and the print went around each of those keys. So this is, I'm sure, a lot easier to deal with from a printing perspective. And I know they had some trouble sourcing some of the components, and they had to redesign some of the innards here of this device. So I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the latest one. And this still has the option of the Raspberry 4 and the Raspberry 5. I'm pretty sure. Let's look here. Yeah, you can get the Pi 4 in a couple of different flavors, or the Pi 5. They've also changed out this switch. This is new, so they've made some refinements here. Same concept here, where this pops open and gives you access to the Raspberry Pi. Let's look on top. See if there's... Oh, look at that. That's nice and large. Why couldn't I find that before? Yeah, so this is a new button. This is a new charging port. This all looks the same. I'm curious if... Let's see what other pictures we got there. There's the side view. I want to see the top view. See if they're still giving you access to the pin headers. Looks like there might be a little case up there. I can't recall. They actually had this in Huntsville. Let's just see. That looks very similar to the top of the Nomad that I've got. I've got like a second. So, they did some iterations. I don't have the very first version. I've got the second version of the Nomad. And this looks similar to that second version of the Nomad. Let's see if we can find that other new, the Strike. Now, I haven't had a chance to really look into this. I think this is using a smaller Raspberry Pi type board. Let's see what they're using in this. Oh, let's see. Do they tell us what they're using in this? I thought I saw it somewhere. Oh, right here. So they're using a Pi 4 compute module. So that's the compute modules are pretty slick. They've been around for a while. They're they're really designed for embedded solutions. So I think that's a good fit for this. Looks like it might be a little bit smaller. Same keyboard, but it looks like it's not quite as wide. I have not seen the Strike here in person yet. So I'll be curious to see that. I'll certainly see it at MeshCon if I don't see it sooner. So that looks pretty slick. Which device, Ghostman, which device do you have your eye on, or which one do you have questions about? Hey, Max, welcome. No problem. We hang out here. Looks like we're holding steady just under about 20 people hanging out, so we're still going strong here. Yeah, okay, so the Strike and the Nomad too. Yeah. Let's see. Question is, will either device do Meshtastic and the other ham apps at the same time? Have the Voyager running on my truck. Awesome. Good. Had it running at Huntsville. Wow, did well even in the parking garage. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, so I am sure that these are both going to run Meshtastic. I mean, that's really kind of the point here. I was able to run Meshtastic and ham radio apps on the original Nomad. I don't see any reason why that won't be the case for the Nomad 2. You can think about that compute module as being is really having the same capability as the Raspberry Pi 4. So I think that's going to be fine. Now the Nomad, the original Nomad that I have is the Pi 5, and I tell you, it's snappy. It runs well. I didn't have any problems. I think I've got a video. I've got at least one video. I think just one video out there where I spend a little time messing around with it. And I was out in Vegas. I took it with me out to Vegas last year. Actually, it was November last year. And I was out there for a conference. It was a tech conference, and there was a lot of Meshtastic around. I was impressed with how much Meshtastic there was. It wasn't like it was more like, it was reInvent, which is an AWS conference. So, not really the type of conference where, you'd expect to see a lot of Meshtastic. Meshtastic wasn't part of the program, put it that way. But there was a fair number of nodes out there. So check that out. You can see I'm running the web version of Meshtastic with that device. I'm a big fan of that Nomad. Conceptually, there's so many great things you can do with that. Yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, there's the trace. Let's see. We met at Huntsville. I was the only other tall guy there. I was looking for Jeem. I saw your Nomad video. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I think I know who you are, Ghost Man. I think I recall. Yeah, it can be tough sometimes trying to connect people's screen names with their name, call signs with their name, unless it's like you need a Rosetta Stone type of badge that pulls all those things together. KD4CHW. Cool. You know what? That's well, some people might want to be stealthy, but yeah, I'd be a big proponent of people when they stop by and they get their next Hamfest badge printed, get their name, call sign, and their YouTube screen name or their Discord name if it's different. That'd be helpful. Let me think. What else? What else do I have for you guys here? Eric, W5EBR, welcome. Glad you could join the stream. It's always kind of fun to see how people kind of leave and then others come and join in later. It's almost like working a satellite pass where, in the early part of the pass, you're getting, people in one region, and then as the satellite moves, you get people coming in where, instead of following the satellite, we're following the sun. But we're getting a lot of 5 calls in here, so that's interesting. Old gamer tag. Oh, nice. That's awesome. I've my kids still use some of their old gamer tags from, back whenever we were playing, like, original Xbox and those things whenever they were young. But they still use those online. That's fun. All right, let's see. I don't know if they got anything else that's new out here that I haven't seen. Do a quick look. We got some bundles and stuff. I've been really impressed with the relay. I mean, that thing, they've got the right size solar panel on that thing. It does not, I mean, it just feels like the power on that thing does not move. It's always in good shape. I'm going to take a look at it real quick here. Yeah, let me show this to you guys. Let's see. I think this is still connected. Let me find it. Yeah, so let's see here. Let me go back a week. And what I'm looking at here is the top line, the green. So this is your battery, right? So you can see, so coming out of the gate, 100%, drops down here. Here, let me, so here you can see that drop, right? It's dropping to like, well, let's see what it is. Can I tell what that is? I can tell. So, around 8 o'clock-ish, I can see it dropping. It looks like it's dropping to like 95%, right? Maybe 90. And then, boom, right? It takes what? Let's see. That's about 7 a.m. to about 7:45, and it's boom, right at 100% again. So you can see it's just barely dropping. Drops down and then boom, right back up. So they've got that thing well sized. Oh yeah, here it looks like it drops to like 93. See what the lowest. There's a 98, 92. That's whenever I was setting it back up. So yeah, so it drops less than 10% overnight and then takes no time at all to get back to full power. It's pretty slick. All right, let's see here. Let's see, anything else out here? I don't think they've got anything else. Let me go back to that first page. We'll probably have some of these items discounted at MeshCon. Anybody here in the Texas area? Anyone planning on going to Belton and on to MeshCon in October, early October? I always enjoy going to Belton. Yeah, I mean, this is fairly new, right? Where they're selling the drone right along with the co-pilot. So it's a fairly low cost kit. Give you a chance to get your drone a couple hundred feet in the air, or get your node a couple hundred feet in the air. Sean, considering Belton, cool. Yeah, so MeshCon, this is Spec 5's, right? They did the first one last year. And they're saying Austin. I'm really curious if it's actually Austin or if it's at their offices. I'm trying to remember what the name of that town is. Well, let's see. Let's see. Do they have? They're actually, their office isn't in. Yeah, they're in Florence. So here, let's just take a quick look at this. It's a quick drive from Belton. It's not far at all. Let's see. I don't have. Oh yeah, I do. So here's the offices. All right, so here's Temple. Right, here's Belton. So it's a pretty quick drive to get over. Let's see just how far it is. This is the Belton Expo. Yeah, just a half-hour drive to get over to their offices. So it's a quick jaunt over. And last year was the first time they put it on. And you know, they had a real nice setup. It was there in their offices. Their offices are, you know, they're in this cool little tech park. And I'm just curious there. How far is that from Austin? Yeah, see, it's quite a ways away from Austin. Certainly compared to where it is from Belton. So it'll be curious to see if they've actually moved it to Austin or if they're going to continue to have it in Florence. But anyhow, you know, they had Amir gave a really great talk about mesh networking and kind of where it's going. And he's the owner of Spec 5. Daniel did a nice talk about where Spec 5 is going, some of their projects that they're working on. They had a bunch of their devices there, so you could, you know, get your hands on all their devices, check them all out. They did a balloon launch, so we could, you know, just see how far we could track the balloon launch, kind of like I'm tracking the goats. They were doing a balloon launch. That was pretty cool. Yeah, and it was, you know, just getting a chance to hang out with a bunch of like-minded folks. That's actually where I met Dave for the first time, KB5 UTY. I met Dave there. I met the Seed Studio folks there. Had a chance to talk with them. I got to meet the rest of the, you know, I had talked with Daniel multiple times before, Daniel of Spec 5. I got to meet the rest of the crew there, which was great. A lot of really great people over there. So, you know, it's It's interesting to just hear how other people are thinking about mesh networking, how they're using Meshtastic. I'll be curious to hear if some other mesh solutions will be talked about, right? Whether that's Spec 5's own, or things like Reticulum, some of those types of things that can work on the same devices, right? To me, that's all just kind of mesh networking, not necessarily Meshtastic. So a lot of good stuff there. I had a good time. And I'm sure that we'll learn more, right? We took a look at this a little bit earlier. I actually have these talks from last year's MeshCon on the channel. So if you guys are interested, those are out there. Those are things you guys can check out if it's something you're interested in. But yeah, they don't have a whole lot of detail here yet. You can get your tickets early though. All right. So Sean, I'm curious if you're in that Belton area, or if you're up in North Texas. I don't think I know. All right, let's see. Favorite type of baked beans. That came out of nowhere. Uh, Gosh, I don't even know what they're called. So, you know, yeah, no problem, Sean. So, here in Texas, the ranch beans are kind of the everyday beans, right? And they've got a bunch of different flavors. I like them all. I eat them all. Oh, okay, cool. San Antonio, got it. Um, you're actually over where Dave's at then. Um, I've got to check in with Dave. I'm going to be, at some point here, I'm going to be going over to his club to do a satellite presentation. Nice. Yeah, so I've been talking with Dave off and on about getting over to do an AMSAT presentation to the club over there. So if you're close, that might be something you'd be interested in. I'll have to keep you guys posted on that. So yeah, so ranch beans, any kind of ranch beans, doesn't matter if it's the jalapeno ones or the onion ones. I love them all, or just the plain ones. There's these, and I don't know what they are. I just know what the can looks like. There's these spicy ones at the store here that they're all doctored up. They've got, they're not as good as Frank's, but for being in a can, they're pretty doggone good. They're not like Bush's or anything like that. They all have their place. I like them all. But I'm trying to remember what the heck. But they've got like corn in them. They've got all kinds of spicy peppers in them. They're really good. Those are my favorites. They even have these crazy ones here. I'm curious if you guys have seen this. They've got ones with Dr. Pepper in them. Yeah, I mean, no kidding. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, right here. Have you guys seen these? Crazy. I've not tried those, but this Serious Bean Company, this is these are the guys that make those beans I like. So these are good. These jalapeno bacon ones, these hot honey ones are good. Let's see. There's another brand that has like some corn and different things in them too. They're really good. All right, Ghost Man. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. 73, buddy. So yeah, that's a question out of nowhere. But these are really good if you've not tried these. Boy, I wish I could remember the other ones. These jalapeno bacon ones are really good. These hot honey ones are really good too. I haven't tried these ones yet. I like the ones with some spice. Need a little bit of zip. That's too funny. I didn't know putting Dr. Pepper in beans was a thing. That's kind of crazy to me. It's kind of silly. All right, what do we got here? 12:35. I've got to check just for the heck of it. See if I'm out of the API doghouse. Nope, still in the doghouse. Still in the doghouse. That'll be something I have to try tomorrow, I guess. You know what I'm going to do here? If you guys have a topic, throw it out there. I am going to, I just want to take a quick listen here and see if anything new is popping up on the shortwave. Check long wave here real quick. All right, nothing in long wave. These are AM stations. We'll get past those. All right, Sean, you bet. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one. Hey, I'll be streaming Sunday night. Just as a reminder to folks, this will be in Frank's slots. Frank will be streaming in Jason's slot again. That'll be the case for the entire month of September. So keep that in mind, and maybe we'll see you guys on Sunday. Let's see here. All right, we're still hanging in there. Let's see. Oh, I see what the problem there is. Let's see. Ooh. Trying to see if I can find me another shortwave station in that list. I know you guys can't see this. I had to tear that down. There we got one. Looks like a religious station. I don't know. What do you guys think about the idea of broadcasting a ham radio podcast on shortwave? Is that something you guys would listen to or try to listen to? I just think it's a cool idea. As somebody who's listened to shortwave off and on, for years, it's just a cool idea. The thought of broadcasting. It's pretty slim pickings out there. I got to get my other antenna going. I'm going to try to get that done this weekend. Get my DX Commander back up. Certainly performs better. All right, let's see. What do we got here? We've got 1240. We've lost a few people here in the last several minutes here. We're down to 15 viewers. So do we have anybody out there that's got a topic, or are you guys ready to wind it down for tonight? I am good either way. It's been a good time. It's been I always enjoy these nights where we're just hanging out, looking for something to chat about. Yeah, looks like we may have a bunch of folks that have dozed off. And that's okay too. It happens. I've been there. That would be neat. Yeah, to do a broadcast, I think it would be pretty cool. I mean, for $30. Now, be interesting to like maybe do it once a month or something. Yeah, $30 for an hour. So, you'd have to find some way to make it worthwhile. I mean, just to do it on a whim would be fine, but to do it in a sustained fashion would we need to find, an audience and sponsors. Has anyone tried using a set of T1000Es for texting capabilities on a cruise ship? That's a good question. I'm trying to think if I have heard of anyone using it on a cruise. It would be interesting, right, with how much metal you've got on that ship, where you would have success and where you might have trouble. Yeah, I mean, I could, I've never been on a cruise personally. I can't wrap my head around being stuck. Makes for a good Saturday lunchtime listen. Yeah, there you go. That's a thought. But yeah, I just can't get my head around taking a cruise, right? I mean, I've seen too many of the issues where people, right? You have a bunch of people that get sick. You have an issue with the ship. I mean, I'm sure it's just like car ride or, plane travel, right? It's, one or two issues gets all the attention, and, the hundreds of cruises that go off without a hitch. You don't talk about those, so there's nothing to talk about. So it's just never really been my thing. So I don't have any firsthand experience. Yeah, certainly. And that's why I was just trying to think about who I know. I know lots of people that take cruises. I'm trying to think if I know anybody who might have taken Meshtastic. Now I wonder if Jason went to Alaska. He did an Alaskan cruise last year. And hey, Ken, glad you're still here. But Jason did an Alaskan cruise, and I remember him talking about seeing a bunch of nodes when he was off the ship, but I don't think he and his wife used them on the ship. That's a great thought, though, Eric. We've got to know somebody who can give that a try. Yeah, Ken, that's what I was kind of thinking. Once a month, right? If you could, getting back to the shortwave broadcast, if you could, put together, enough material once a month, that's a reasonable amount of time to put together a solid hour worth of material. And then maybe if you could get, just one or two sponsors, that might be interesting, right? And I mean, it could be cheap sponsors, right? It's not a lot of money we're talking about here. Now, I say that, that was the one station. I'm curious. Let me see if I got a response. I sent an email. Earlier today. I haven't checked to see if I got a response. That would be cool. See if I got any kind of feedback yet. Aha, I did. Okay, so I heard back from Alan. So he's the guy that was in the video. I believe he's probably kind of the owner, the main dude. Alan says, I've got available time on our 7490 transmitter. So if you guys remember, let's see here. Let me find that. If I can find it, where'd it go? Here we go. All right. So these are all their stations. He's got availability on the first one he listed, 7490, which if I recall, that's the one that we actually heard someone on. Let me just do a quick. What do we got? 7490. Doesn't sound like there's anyone on it right now. Let me check their program guide again. So this is 150 Friday, 6 p.m. Saturday. Oh, my camera's in the way. Where are you at? Let me blow this up so you guys can see this better. So Saturday. Where am I at? So they don't have. This is Eastern. So what is this? So from 12 midnight to noon, world's last chance. Is that right? Okay, let's go to the other side. So 8. So it looks like they don't have any. So obviously this is where they've got space. So this is the transmitter they've got space on. Okay. Why there's nothing on it. All right, so let's get back to 7490. Where'd my email go? So we have available time on 7490, airtime on 7490 is $50 an hour. So instead of, let's see, which one did he list? So 5130 was $30 an hour. But 7490 is 50. So this is laser broadcast system. What is this? All programming on our shortwave feed is now being broadcast on our newly constructed laser light transmission system. 6 high power lasers converting the visible light bands from deep red to ultraviolet. All super modulated by the audio from our programming 24 hours a day. So they're beaming it into space as well. We are the only radio broadcast station in the world doing this. Interesting. Wonder if they can pick this up on the ISS. All groundbreaking in the world broadcasting, all for a unique nature, blah, blah, blah. So that's pretty gimmicky, but, you know, good on them. It's probably tough. This is probably a tough business to be in. But this is where they've got space right now, and they've got it for $50 an hour. Okay. So that's that. Yeah, that was my concern with the metal on an open deck. It would be fine. Gonna give it a shot later. Hey, great. That's, yeah, I'd love to hear how that works out for you, Eric. SDR record it for everyone who can't catch it. Yeah, so the way I'm thinking about it, EOD is have it broadcast over shortwave and then also have it broadcast over the web at the same time. See, like a lot of these, I don't know if this one is, a lot of shortwave stations. I've got another topic related to radio broadcasting here that I had completely forgotten about, but just curious what else they've got here. What's this Area 51 webcast? A lot of stations, Splatterbox. So these guys don't do, that's interesting. Oh, I don't want to do that, whatever that is. Okay. A lot of these will do a webcast at the same time. Let's check out these other guys. Where'd they go? No, these guys. This is that Florida station. Let's see. A lot of these will have a link that you can listen via the web at the same time, I guess is the point. So yeah, I think you'd have to do both. And then that way for folks that can't receive it for whatever reason, they still have a chance to check it out. But yeah, instead of doing an SDR record, just do a webcast of it. Or you could just release it as podcast as well. There's something about broadcasting it though, right? Where you've got to be available at the time that the show happens. Just something about that. I'm going to have to do some more checking into that. But let me see if I can find that link real quick on my phone. There's another topic related to radio that I've earmarked to dig into at some point. It's essentially, you can actually get a license to do a low power broadcast in your community. So there's a few stipulations, right? It's got to be, somewhere that's not well served already. But I don't think it's either no cost or very low cost. I can't recall. I'm just trying to see if I can put my hands on. Yeah, low power FM station. Let's do a search on that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. All right, let's see. And I think they're like 100 watts. I think that's what it is. You can't have a low power station near you. It's got to be an underserved area. Anybody that's in a rural area kind of qualifies for it. Let's see. There's some resources out there that have. You got to watch out. Some of these are. Yeah, here's a bunch of low power FM stations in Texas. So you got a few in Abilene here. Allen, that's here in North Texas, Amarillo. So there's a bunch of them here. There's a tool where you can go out, you can put your GPS coordinates in, and you can find out if you're in a underserved area, if you're in an area that is that qualifies. And I checked my area out, and it qualifies. So it's just another kind of crazy idea that would be fun to check out. You can see there's a ton of them out there. I think a lot of these will broadcast. Here's one in San Antonio. So here's the frequency. Right, really low power, 28 watts. I think you can go up to 100 watts, if I'm not mistaken. But it's basically broadcasting for your community. And then, what a lot of people will do is they'll webcast it as well. So it looks like there's a few here in San Antonio. There's 35 watts. I don't know. You guys familiar with this? Have you guys ever heard of this? I had never heard about it. I thought it was pretty cool, though. All right, gang. We have reached 1 a.m. I think this is where we're going to go ahead and pull the plug. Give everybody a chance to get some sleep. Get ready for the weekend. Hey, I want to thank you all for hanging out. And, I know some were able to stay long, some were not. It's all good here, right? It's nice that this runs so long people can come and go, and hopefully you find a way to fit it into your Friday night. I sure appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you guys have some suggestions, if you guys have topic suggestions, if you have just suggestions on how I could make this more interesting and a better resource for you guys, please send me an email. I would love to hear that. And you know, my hope is that we can make this something that's worthwhile for folks. And, you know, it gives us a good place for all the insomniacs, all the left coasters, everybody who doesn't always have a chance to catch the 7 p.m. Central streams. So, hey Andy, I really appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure to see you out there in the chat. Just blows me away. It seems like you're always in all of them. So I recognize that, and I appreciate it. Eric, thanks for hanging out, and can't wait to hear about your cruise ship experiment. So make sure you come back and you tell us about that. I'm excited to hear what how that works out for you. But again, Sunday night, 6 o'clock, I'll be doing the stream in Tank's normal spot. And boy, I think that's about it. Again, thank you all for hanging out. It's been a good time. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Have a good weekend, y'all.